Hey everybody, it's me, Fox. I am coming to you live from the floor in front of my Valentine's Day, I almost knocked that over, my Valentine's Day Christmas tree to talk to you about my Powersheets. So this will be my first update video. You may recall I did my Powersheets prep work video, which I will link in the cards here if you are curious to go back and see how I started my year. So we're gonna talk about Powersheets today, okay? Yes, I'm sitting on the floor because it's comfy here. Yes, this is my dog's pen right next to me. She's actually on the bed. She's not supposed to be jumping up and down off the bed because she just had her little minor surgery yesterday. It could happen, so, right, cool. So we're gonna talk about the Powersheets, and we're gonna talk about my January goals, we're gonna talk about my February goals, and we're gonna talk about depression and anxiety and why I personally find it useful to still keep doing planning while I'm struggling with depression. So we're gonna get real. We're gonna talk real talk about the mental health side of things today, okay? So you may notice that normally when I do a front-facing video like this, I do my hair. I don't usually do my makeup because that takes a long fucking time and we're not going out dancing, so what's the purpose? But I usually do my hair for a front-facing video and try to like look a little bit better. Y'all, I'm not even wearing a bra for this video. It's so real because what else is real in my life right now is my depression, and we're gonna talk about it, okay? The depression is in the captain's chair right now, and it's a delicate balancing act to get through that. So let's talk about January. You may recall my January goals, which I don't know if you can see this. What I did, I took pictures of these and I'm gonna post a picture where it's like better lighting, but I'm holding it up just because I don't know what else to do with it. So, all right, we'll go through these goals one by one. As a reminder, my overarching goals for the year for my Powersheets are these 8 little dudes here, right? So we have take better care of my body, establish routines for mental and physical health, scrapbook and memory keep, become a distance runner again, try to do all 101 achievements, that's husband and my blog, explore my druid practice, grow my YouTube channel, and prioritize creativity and writing. So these were the goals at the start, the overarching goals. And so then each month when I do my tending list, which is what this dude here is, each month when I do my tending list, I'm focusing on some of those goals. And I've actually been doing the color coding now 2 months in a row. So I did it the first time. Basically this is in the Powersheets, but I made a copy of it with my color scheme so I can have this side by side when I'm actually doing the Powersheet, so I can like be working, you don't have to be flipping back and forth. I found this to be really helpful to have my goals printed out separately to look at them. And then that helps me remember which color is which. So the goals on here are not in any like particular order, they're just like in the order that they came to my brain, but I did color code them according to the goal that they coincide with. So, and also something about me is I love to use Dave Matthews Band lyrics. I try to always find a fitting Dave Matthews Band lyric for my encouraging words. So for January, it was from You Might Die Trying, the song You Might Die Trying, and the lyrics are to change the world, start with one step, note however small, the first step is hardest of all. Which, bitch, if that is not true, it was fucking true this month, okay? I did pretty well on my dailies, I don't know if you can see this, and I did pretty well on my weeklies, but I fucking did not do very well on my monthly tasks. And that's okay, and we're gonna talk about that, right? So what I'm thinking is, do I want to go through in the order that they are in here, or just that the order? We're just going to go down the list because I don't need anything to be more complicated than it already is right now. Cool. So my first thing was relating to my goal of establishing routines for mental and physical health, and that was to make a chart of cleaning and chores. Yes, I got to be nearly 40 years old and I don't know how often you're supposed to vacuum or dust or change your air filter, all those things. Yeah, right. So I didn't do that. I did not do that. That should have been an easy thing. That should have been like a sit down for an hour, find something on Pinterest and be done with it. I didn't do it. So that one you'll see got moved on to February's list. My next one was related to, I put it under explore my druid practice, which was to read Magical Course in Tarot. I'm gonna show you the book, hold on. I brought some stuff and things. I'm like sitting in the tree, like the tree and I are one. Okay. Next on the list, I put it under explore my druid practice, but it's more like a spirituality in general, not specifically related to being a druid, but that was to read the Intro to Tarot book. And this is the book that I am using. It's called A Magical Course in Tarot. I really, really like it. So I gave myself like 3/4 of the way of credit because technically you don't read it like cover to cover. Basically the way that it's set up is it goes through the intro and like what to do and how to do it and how to set up your practice of going through the cards and all that. And then there's a big chunk of it in here that is like the explanation of each of the cards. So it's like not really useful to read through that in real time. So that's what I'm using and referencing every day when I'm going back and actually reading cards. So this is what I'm working with. I gave myself 3/4 of the credit because I didn't read the part about how to do, I'm just doing single card readings right now. And I didn't read the part about how to do like a bigger reading, like a Wheel of the Year or a 3-card reading or anything like that. So I got through the beginning portion of it, but not all of it. Also, I'm gonna report back about this because I love this book. It's really, really good. It's written in a very like easy to understand and manageable style if you're just learning to read tarot, but it doesn't lie flat very well. Like it's really hard to, like when I'm doing my journal daily with my card and I wanna like be copying down what I'm learning about, it's really hard to get it to lie flat. So stay tuned because in the coming week, I'm gonna be taking this to Staples and seeing if they can put it on a spiral binding so it'll be easier to use as a reference. I should have put that as a goal for February. If you're curious, I am using, my deck is the Crow Tarot, which, why is it not focusing? Focus. Okay, it's not focusing. Okay, it's the Crow Tarot. Anyway, these cards are beautiful. I really like them. They're a little bit large, and I have like man hands, so maybe if you're like a normal size, these would be too big for your hands because they're almost too big for my man hands. Anyway, I take rests. So, made good progress on that goal. The next 2 goals on here were related to memory keeping. The first was to finish December daily for 2020, and the second one was to get through the stories by the month for January in real time. Girl, I didn't do any of that. I didn't. I just didn't even. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. That was the one thing that I made the least time for in January was my memory keeping. And I regret that. I have regrets. So I will come back to that. Next up was related to the goal of take better care of my body. And that was to finish the 21-day fix real-time program. It's like a 3-week program. It's Beachbody On Demand. I've talked about it in my vlogs that I have a Beachbody On Demand subscription. I really like the workouts. The workouts are really, really fun. And they give you a calendar. Well, I'm trying to do that alongside marathon training, which will come up momentarily. And so I didn't, I got through the first week and a half of the 21 days. I did like, I think I've done 9 days or 10 days, something like that. So I'll keep working on that, but it was much easier to do. We did MBF, which is Muscle Burns Fat, which was the program that came out in the summer. We did that, and that's when I was not marathon training, so it was much easier to do 30 minutes of that every day. So I did like mark that I got like 1/3 of the way through that, which is pretty fair. And that's not really super important. The fact is that I'm doing some kind of exercise every day, and I am strength training at least like once a week now, which I wasn't doing at all during this most of the pandemic. So next was 2 things related to establish routines for mental and physical health. I don't know how this really fits. This is work related, but I just put it on there. Was to do my CPR class and my OSHA recertification for immunizing. I did that 100%. Good job, Fox. You are officially licensed to stab people for another 2 years. Hey. Yeah, I had to do that for work. Every other January I'm due for my CPR recertification. I did that because I am doing vaccine clinics right now. So yay, I definitely need to be certified. Next one was to do a monthly plan. I did not do that. I do some amount of monthly plan like set up in my Google Calendar, but I wanted to have it in my actual planner on the monthly pages so I have a visual to look at, because that kind of helps me when I'm trying to look at, like sometimes it's hard for me to look at the Google Calendar and visualize what's coming. having it in the actual planner seems to work better. So I wanted to do that and I didn't. So I did carry that goal over into February as well. Next one was another one that I kicked ass on. I know you can't see this, but I'm so excited about it, which was to print and fill out my marathon training plan. Sometimes you have to give yourself like easy, you can do it. Like one of my very dear friends, Sion, said he likes to set manageable New Year's resolutions, like renew your passport. And I'm like, well, that's not a resolution, that's just a task. And he's like, yeah, but if I put it as my resolution, I do it. And then I feel motivated. I'm like, you're so right. So I am using, I've showed this on my, boy, I'm not very good at using a ring light and getting color proper here. Can you see that? Probably not. Okay, so it's a planner. There, if I put it next to my face, you can see it. So this is just like one of those little this is from the Nature Conservancy. I don't even think I'm a donor for them, but they try to get me, and so they send me stuff. Maybe I have donated to them, I don't know. That might have been where I have adopted buffalo from before. Anyway, it's like one of their little like gifts that they send you to try to get you to send money. But it's perfect for marathon training. So basically it's just, if you can see this, if I bring it back towards me, it's easier to see it. I might just zoom it in. I basically put in all my work schedule, and then I put in, I'm using the Hal Higdon marathon training plan. I think I'm using Novice 2 this time. I think, don't quote me on that. But yeah, so I put my marathon training plan in. There's April, and then the marathon will be May 2nd. Well, it's gone virtual, so I don't know if we're gonna, that was the supposed date. But anyway, I got that done, and that is a huge, huge help for me, because if I don't have my, like how many miles I'm supposed to run each day down like that, I really struggle. So having this done was like a big thing. So I got that fully checked off. Next up was related to our blog. So husband and I do a blog. We've been doing it for about 10 years now. And basically it's called 101 Achievements. At the beginning of each year, we come up with 101 things that we want to do over the course of the year. Some of them are big things, like a home improvement project, or there were several years that we tried to eat at every single restaurant on a certain like main drag in a certain part of town. And sometimes they're like little things, like I had never tried cottage cheese, that was on there. Trying to think what some of the smaller things were, like maybe go see a site in Pittsburgh that we hadn't seen before. Last year for Leap Day, we went and did leaping photos in front of like several different Pittsburgh landmarks, you know, just different things. Local interest, fun stuff, like some cooking, some cocktail making, different things. So anyway, I had put on here for January to finalize our achievement list for 2021 and then do the initial calendar. The first weekend of January, my dad got sick. So for those of you who may be popping in and not knowing me and my story, my dad, who is like one of my very dearest, most wonderful friends, also you, Mom, don't worry, I love you too. In August, he was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell lung cancer. If you're not familiar with small cell lung cancer, I will try to link to my plan with me where I talked a little bit more about it. I think it was from last week or the week before. I gave an overview of some stuff and some struggles with small cell. It's a very aggressive cancer, and it responds very well initially to chemotherapy, but then after that first round, there's not a whole lot of stuff out there. So in any case, the first week of January, my dad started to not feel good. He'd been doing like awesome after his first round of chemo finished. He finished his first cycle, or his first round of chemo in November, and he was doing like really, really well for 2 months, and then he started to kind of not feel well. So between that and then the insurrection that happened, I forgot about what happened on January 6th. It was a fucking mess, and all the anxiety that went along with that. Plus I had a root canal and a bunch of dental work done in the middle of December that I'm still kind of struggling with. Dentists, 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Anyway, all of these things going on, I just really had a hard time getting into the mindset of like planning for the year and planning things that we wanted to do. And I was okay planning on here on my channel and talking about stuff, but there was something weird about talking about like good stuff on a blog when things were so uncertain. And so I was like, well, you know, we'll wait until the inauguration and see if things settle down and we're less worried that we're like in the middle of a civil war or whatever. But by that point we had found out, my dad had had a CT scan, so we found out that the cancer is indeed back. He's starting second line chemo. He started it this past Thursday, and so it's been an emotional start to 2021. So I didn't do anything with that. And in fact, you'll see when I talk about February, I have decided to put off the blog until March at the earliest. We'll talk about that. So the final thing that was on my list for the January attending list was to do a Skillshare class about YouTube because I need some assistance in how to grow my channel and to get more followers, and I didn't do the class because I just couldn't put aside the time to sit down and work on that. So weekly action items, run 3 to 4 times a week. Did that, awesome, did that every single week. 3 YouTube videos a week, did awesome on that. There was 1 week at the end, and that was this past week when my dad's been not feeling well after he did his chemo and everything. That was the only week that I didn't do the 3rd video, but I did 3 out of the 4 weeks. And then the other ones, I didn't do anything on my weekly. One was to do a face mask every week because the mask knee is real, especially when I'm in these clinics and I'm wearing an N95 for like 9 hours. Yeah, the mask knee is serious, and I can't go for facials right now, so and I'm running in the winter, also that. So like, I really need to be taking better care of my skin than I am, and yeah, didn't do that. I wanted to do 1 month of my 365 project, which is, I'll link to that below in the comments in the description here. The 365 project is a website, I believe it's based out of England. And it is like every day you take a picture and you post your picture and a caption, and there's a picture for every day. I've been doing it since 2013. I'm way behind on the posting. I've been taking the pictures every day, but I have not been uploading them. One of my goals is that I want to get current on that, and so I can keep up with it just every day. When I take my picture, post the next day. I was hoping to get through like a month of it, of the backlog every week. I didn't even get through the first month, so yeah. And then the other one was 1 to 2 blog posts. As I said, I was waiting to see what would happen with the state of the country and the world. And then I just was like, not motivated. So daily action items, I kind of killed it on most of these things. Tracking my macros, working out for 30 minutes, I did that every single day. I tracked macros all but like 5 days of the month. Stretch for 10 minutes after working out, I did that all but 4 days of the month. My morning routine, I did that all but 2 days of the month, one of which was the day after I got my second COVID vaccination, and I was just like, ooh, sitting is hurting, you know, that kind of stuff. I did work out at least 30 minutes a day. I did stretch all but 4 days. My morning routine, the only day that I missed was the day of the vaccine because everything hurt. I didn't end up updating. I had touch planners every single day. I lost track of updating that, but I think I did pretty well, better than I normally do. And then edit all the daily photos. So I'm up to day 26. So I only have like 4 days that I didn't finish. So when you do your power sheets, at the end of the month, you have this little month in review page, which I'll pop up here. Right, so people that you're grateful, they did change it this year, and I kind of like it better because it like asked people that you're grateful for twice in the old one, and this one only asks it one time. It just says people I'm grateful for and why. So I said my parents, Georgia, that's my therapist, and my run fam, because we've been running together on Saturdays. Good things about this month, I said I ran 100 miles, I got vaccinated, I gave vaccine, and then I did start Weight Watchers, which I'm really enjoying. Like the food on there is really, can you see my dog? Can you see my dog? She's sitting on my lap. The food on the Weight Watchers, so far, I've really liked the recipes, like the snack ideas and things, and that's what I really need. I struggle with snacking, so there's my dog. There she is, she's sitting on my lap. Okay, so what I read or listened to, I read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. It was really, really good. I'll try to link to the Goodreads of it below because you'll really enjoy it. I have been reading Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered, which is my favorite murder memoir. And I've been listening to Pod Save America. I listened to that a lot while things were civil warring outside. And now it's kind of boring. I listened to it this week and I was like, well, it's kind of boring. Goals that are growing really well, running and tracking my macros and being healthier with dinner. And we do eat out, but we had a few nights where we like made an easy dinner at home where we wanted to eat out, so that was good. I'm choosing grace over guilt about having trouble doing things when I'm worrying about my dad. That's something I really have to work on. Who's calling me? It's my house phone ringing. You done? Okay. Yeah, so I have to come to terms with the fact that there are going to be days that I'm just anxious and I'm just worried and I just can't really do much beyond the basics, and that's okay. That's gonna be how this is, you know. My depression's gonna be bad, and my anxiety's gonna be bad, and my difficulty in dealing with what the future holds is gonna be a struggle, and that's okay. And recognizing that and saying, like, you don't have to be productive every day, you don't have to be perfect every day. That's important. So that's what I'm choosing grace over guilt about. My favorite memories from the month. So this is a sad thing, right? When I got to this part, I felt like deer in the headlights, like I couldn't come up with any good memories. I'm like, what did we do this month? And now I know there's a global pandemic on, and I worked a bunch of extra shifts because I was doing clinics and things like that. And like, I know there's some reasons for it, but I think part of it was like, my depression's been bad and my energy levels have been very, very low. And so when it comes down to trying to do anything fun, you know, like for example, a winery that we are members of, they were doing their wine release. And so when you got your shipment of the wines for them, like you get it quarterly, they were doing a cooking class. So they were doing like, they would give you the recipe ahead of time and you could cook along with the Zoom class, and I was like, that would be so fun. And like when the day came and I was like, oh, we should do that, I was just too tired. And that's a big part of depression, is this tiredness and this lack of energy and lack of motivation to do things. And it's not motivation in that like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. It's like you want to do things and you know what you want to do, and then it comes to do it and you don't have the strength inside of you to do it because your depression is just like a weight on you. So I did come up with some things. I said the vaccine clinic with my friend Brenna, who's a pharmacy tech who got her immunization certification. She's actually the one who gave me my shot. I'm so proud of her. Watching the inauguration with husband. I had to work that day, but that night hello, what are you doing? That night we taped it, and that night we watched it, and we had a glass of champagne, and that was very nice. So that was fun. I got a lot of good sunrises because we've been running kind of early on Saturdays and right around sunrise time. So we had some really good sunrises. I had one day with really good sunrises when I was walking the dogs. That was really nice. And then long runs with friends. I'm so grateful that long runs with friends are back. So I did come up with some stuff, but it kind of hit me that like, wow, I had to like go through and scroll through my phone and see the pictures that I'd taken because I really was having trouble remembering what stuff I did this month. And that's part of depression too, because depression can make it very hard for you to remember things that you've done or what's going on, what you did. And that's part of the reason that I like to do a lot of memory keeping and daily journaling, because sometimes it's hard for me to remember. So the final part is I'm saying no to and I am saying yes to. I said I'm saying no to going through the motions, just meaning like I'm saying no to just being like, today was just another day. It's a Counting Crows lyric that I love that's very sad. Today was just a day fading into another, and that can't be what a life is for. And I feel like that sometimes. So I'm saying no to that. And I'm saying yes to enjoying things more, finding things to do that will cheer me up. Like I really want to do a puzzle. I don't know why this is on my mind so much, but I really want to do a puzzle. I think because it's winter and that's like a wintry thing to do. So let's move on to February. Right, so we have a dog participating in the rest of this video. And hopefully my battery will not die again. So again, trying to make my plans for this month. You start up with this prepare, it says prepare well. And basically it's the important to do, things that you're excited for, things that are on your mind. Layla Grace, you're not supposed to be jumping on the bed. Are you okay? Good girl. Good girl. And then things that I'm hopeful for. And I felt like, wow, I don't have things that I'm excited for this month. I have things that I'm anxious about, but I'm not really coming up with things that I'm excited for. And that kind of stinks. I don't really like feeling that way. So I did come up with some stuff. I said running. I'm excited for running always. And working on my scrapbooks. I really want to make that a priority this month because it makes me so happy to do it. And it's something that I always, when I don't have time, that's always the thing that gets cut because I do feel like I have to sit down and have a lot of time set aside so that I can work on it. On my mind, I said my dad's health, my teeth still not feeling 100%. They're getting better, but it's the vaccine rollout definitely on my mind because it's chaos. You're so perfect. I love you. I'm hopeful that the vaccine rollout will pick up. I'm hoping that Zepzelca, which is the new chemo that my dad is on, it's like an experimental chemo that was just approved last year. I'm hoping that will be helpful, and I'm hopeful that we will do a puzzle. Puzzle's really on my mind right now. So the next thing that you do, there is a monthly spread. If you're using this as your like soul planner, you could use this monthly spread. I didn't use it. I used it last year when I was trying to eat vegetables, and I would write down which vegetables I ate so I could remember that, yes, I did eat a vegetable that day. I liked doing that. That was kind of nice. Might go back and do that again at some point. But so you do brainstorm your month. So I knew for sure that I wanted this month to be a focus of taking care of my body and my mind and my home. So something that exacerbates my anxiety and doesn't help my depression is when our house is a mess and cluttered, or when there are chores hanging over my head. So like knowing I have laundry that has to be done. Oh, I have to meal prep. Oh, knowing that those things are there distracts me. And that's whenever I will choose to just kind of shut down and, scroll Facebook mindlessly, or, take a nap when I don't really need a nap because I'm not really tired. I just am emotionally not in a good place. So that's my focus for February. Back to the basics, really just simple stuff. You're gonna see my monthly tasks. There's nothing huge, there's nothing long and involved. It's really just keeping it simple, because something that helps me is checking things off of my list and feeling like I've accomplished something. And I know there are other planners who talk about this kind of stuff too. And like sometimes, when your depression's bad, or people who have chronic pain and you're having a bad pain day, sometimes the only thing that you can do is you got out of bed and you took a shower and you did a walk, or you got out of bed and you made your bed. Like sometimes that's a win. That's a big win for your day, depending on how you're feeling physically, emotionally, all of those things. And so sometimes it is helpful, even though like for me, making my bed is like, I do it every single day. Like I don't ever not make my bed, except for the days we do the sheets. Sometimes when I wash the sheets, it's a process to get, you all know, what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's like second nature for me. It's like I do it every day. But on a day when I'm having a bad depression day and I'm feeling like, oh, I'm not doing anything, I'm being so lazy, I'm being such a lump, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Making a list and saying, make your bed, get up, empty the dishwasher, go for a walk, putting those things on there so I can cross them off. Sometimes that does help me a little bit. That's something that I know about myself that will help. So I try to be pretty, I don't know. I filled up my entire monthly action items, but I think I tried to keep them all pretty simple things. We'll see. We'll go through them. So on this page, you brainstorm your monthly, your weekly, and your daily ideas, and then once you solidify what you want to focus on, then you transfer them over here. So here we go, February's tending list, okay? So again, we got a Dave Matthews quote. This one is from the song Dancing Nancy's. It's, dark clouds may hang on me sometimes, but I'll work it out. Because I feel like I relate to that. Like, yeah, depression fucking sucks. And depression is like that roommate that you just want to leave and they won't leave. Anxiety, same way. I've had these two roommates for years now. I've had anxiety since I was 6 years old. That is 22 years. 32 years. It's 32. That's a long fucking time, And depression, I haven't had quite that long, but it's been there for well over a decade at this point. Like, we're coming up on 15 years. So there are these roommates that you have to learn to live with because they're not moving out of your house, and what you have to do is you have to learn how to manage them. So I do feel like that line, my priority, as I mentioned, take care of body, mind, and home. We have the Dave Matthews quote, which very fitting. I like to always have a Dave Matthews quote if I can. So here are what I decided on for my monthly tasks, right? So the first two on here, I put under establishing routines for mental and physical health. Anytime that's cleaning, decluttering, anything that's gonna help my brain get into the right place, I put that under that overarching goal. So organize my stickers. You hear me talk about it every week when I'm doing my plan with me. My stickers are a fucking disaster. I need to organize them because I waste time every week looking for shit. And then declutter the hall closet downstairs. It's just like, I've done it so many times and you have to keep doing it because it just keeps, I don't know what happens in there, but something happens in there and it's fucked up. So we need to do that. The next two are memory keeping related. Finish December daily. So I did start working on it over the weekend. I was staying at my parents' house and I was working on it there. And I was like, I had this roadblock. I had done the first 2 days, and the third day, if you're not familiar with December Daily, I'll try to link that below too. Allie Edwards, she's a scrapbooking company. And so I've subscribed to her Stories by the Month kit. So you get a kit every single month with that month's theme. And then you're supposed to just do like, it's less scrapbooking like the way that you would do like a scrapbook for a trip that you went on or an event or something like that. And more like just noticing the little things about your daily life so you can look back and do, this is my 2020. So I'm like so fucking far behind. Scrapbookers, you hear me. You know what I'm going through. We're all behind. We're so far behind. We don't even know what year we're planning, right? So anyway, right. I really wanted to keep up with December Daily in December. I didn't do it. I just didn't have the time or the emotional. If I had the time, I didn't have the emotional strength. If I had the emotional strength, I didn't have the time. My life. So anyway, I started working on it. I got through the first couple days, and then you're supposed to do like about a page or so per day, maybe 2-page spread. And we went out to dinner in one of those little private igloos, like that are COVID safe because it's just you and your household members in there, and it's been sanitized and all that. And it was wonderful. We took like a ton of pictures, and I was having a hard time like narrowing down which ones I wanted to use. I was like stuck on that page. So I finally got through that page this weekend. So now I feel like I can burst forward at least a couple days. So I want to finish that this month. I want to make that a priority because I love doing it. It makes me happy to do it. And I want to fucking work on it. So that's on here. And then finish January of my workout book. Last year, you probably all saw at some point, I did the Happy Planner wellness log for my daily workout tracking. And I work out every single day. Sometimes it's nothing big. Sometimes it's just a walk or whatever. But I just got a like fat notebook this year because I wanted to have, for like long runs, I take a lot of pictures on our long runs or any runs, but I wanted to have more space to put more pictures on long runs. We had like beautiful scenery or like I said, these beautiful sunrises. So I have to like print the pictures for that and really start working on that. So I put that on here. Get current on photos also. I don't have a ton. If you remember my journey, which started years ago, I had like 27,000 photos to edit, and then I got it all current by August, the end of August of 2020. And now I have like a couple thousand to catch up on, but nothing terrible. So I want to get current on those again by the end of this month. So that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Run 100 miles. If I stick to my running schedule, that's going to be easy peasy. Although today I was supposed to run 4 miles. And I just am not feeling good, and so I didn't do it, but I'll make it up. I'll figure it out. So yeah, run 100 miles, which I did in January. So 100 miles per month is like my happy place. 4 runs per week, 100 miles per month. You got a happy fox. Those are the keys to being a happy fox. Okay, I did put monthly plan back on here again that I said I didn't finish or didn't do last month because I know that'll help with my depression to have everything laid out, having that visual picture of my monthly, like what days I work, what days I'm at clinic, all of that. It's blinking, the battery's dying. I'm gonna cry here. Okay, make the chore chart, that carried over from January. Tidy the second desk. It used to be husband's desk. He's not using it currently, and it's kind of become a catch-all in the office, so I wanna get that tidy. And then process my name change paperwork. I have both last names, and I'm going back to just using my real name because it's all I really use anyway, except for I was using husband's last name on my pharmacist license, and I just kind of want it to be easier and be back to just my real name. So I'm going to start the process of name change paperwork this month. So my weekly action items, again, run 3 to 4 times a week, do the face mask, 3 YouTube videos a week, update my Fitbit dashboard because that ties into my Weight Watchers. It gives me my extra points on my Weight Watchers. 1 month of the 365 project, a lot of these carried over. And then I'd like to play at least an hour of World of Warcraft per week. Just 1 hour, that's all I'm asking. My daily action items, I have my tarot card reading, my morning routine, drinking amino acids and collagen supplement every day. That helps my recovery for running. I want to do a Peloton 10-minute or more stretch video every day. I did one yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing one today. Touch my planners daily and try to spend less than 90 minutes on Facebook mobile. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm going to try. As long as I try, then I know I'll be more intentional if I try, even if I don't hit it. So those are my goals. That's my tending list for the month. Let me know in the comments what you're doing, what goals you're working on. And yeah, feel free to ask questions about depression and anxiety and how you balance it. For me, it really does help to lay the bones down of the planner. Even if I don't do everything on here, having that to guide me and direct me kind of helps and give. Okay, I'm fucking fed up with my camera battery that keeps dying, so I'm just finishing it here. Yes, for me, I feel that having the groundwork laid in my planner really helps me, especially on the days when I'm I kind of have some motivation, but I don't really have the direction. That really helps me to have that there. So I know some people are not like that. Some people, when depression is bad, they just don't even want to think about a planner, and that's fine too. Everybody has their own way of dealing with depression and coping with depression, and you do you and what works for you, and that is awesome if you can find that. If you can find that thing that helps you get through it. And for me, I have found that doing the planner, even if I don't entirely stick with the planner, that helps. That's a step for me. And so that's what I'm going to keep doing. So anyway, I have no idea how long this video is because it's been filmed in 6 parts because the battery has died twice. The camera card was full. Husband came up in the middle not realizing I was filming and asked me about my wine. It's been quite an adventure, this video. So I hope that you enjoyed watching to this point. And please subscribe if you're new here. I publish videos 2 to 3 times a week. I always do a plan with me. I always do a weekly vlog, and then you get a 3rd video like this here and there when I try to do them every week. Doesn't always happen, but yeah. So please, subscribe, click like if you enjoyed this video. And everybody out there, times are hard. We're under a lot of stress. Go easy on yourself and set manageable goals, and set goals that maybe they seem really easy when you write them down, but they'll make you feel good and they'll make you feel like you accomplished something when you check them off, even if they're small. No matter how small they are, just fucking do it for yourself, because you're worth it. You're really worth it, okay? So everybody out there, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you all in my next video.